Hi everyone. In this video we're going to briefly discuss Python and its advantages and an overview, and then I'll show you how to install Python onto your computer. Python was developed in 1991 by Guido van Rossum. And it's quickly become one of the most popular programming languages in the world. And this is because it has many advantages. The main advantages the Python has is that developers can learn it quickly, and this is because it typically involves a lot less code than other languages. And the syntax is a lot easier to read, and this is because, as you learn later on, is that Python makes use of white space, that is, it uses indentation instead of curly braces, and that allows users to really learn it a lot faster than they would other programming languages. And because of that, Python is now utilized by pretty much every major technology company in some capacity. And what's also really nice about Python is that there's a huge amount of additional open source libraries. Then that's basically to say, if you want to perform a particular task on Python, maybe you want to create PDFs in Python, send an email in Python, work with images, data analysis, create a website, there's additional frameworks and libraries available to you that are open source that people have created that allow you to do those things. Python itself has a lot of stuff built in. It's known as a programming language that has batteries included, and that's because there's a lot of standard libraries that are included in Python that allow you to already do a lot of stuff. That is to say, for instance, it has a math library that has a lot of capability, but there are additional libraries in case you need to focus more on a particular and each topic, such as numerical computing. There's a library called the pipe for that. So, to actually look at all these advantages and start learning Python, we need to install it, and we're going to install Python using the free Anaconda distribution. And the reason for that is this distribution includes Python as well as many other useful libraries, including Jupyter, which is the notebook system we're going to be using. Throughout a lot of the videos later on we'll use things like text editors to write Python scripts, but when we first start learning, Jupyter is a great choice. Now Anaconda, another reason we choose it is that it can be easily installed onto any major operating system, such as Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. One thing I do want to point out before we jump to the actual Anaconda download websites is that because Anaconda includes a lot of these other libraries, there's also a miniature version of Anaconda, which is Miniconda, which is a lot smaller or have enough room on your computer. For the full Anaconda installation, there's also Miniconda, and I'll be showing you how to work with that right after I show you the main Anaconda setup. So, it is recommended that you use the full Anaconda, but just in case you don't have a fast internet connection or you don't have enough space on your computer, you can always use Miniconda. So, let's begin the installation process by going to www.anaconda.com/downloads. So, anaconda.com downloads. The website will look something similar to this. It may be updated from time to time as far as the look and feel. But in general it will have the download links for the various installers for the Windows, Mac OS, and Linux systems. And, if you click on download, it will be brought down to the actual download links for the graphical installers or the command line installers. By the time you view this page, chances are that new versions of Python has been released. So, keep that in mind. Any version of Python 3 should be fine for our use of cases. Now, if you're on Windows, they'll go ahead and download the graphical installer 64-bit or 32-bit, depending on your computer. Most newer computers are gonna be 64-bit. So for Windows users, click on this graphical installer and download it. If you're using Mac OS, click on this graphical installer and download it. And then if you're on Linux, you'll be clicking on this installer and download it. Keep in mind that Linux users have a command line installer and you'll have to type commands. That will show you in just a second. Once you've decided which version you're going to download, scroll down a little bit and click here where it says Read More on Documentation. And then go to Installation under Anaconda Individual Edition. So then choose what operating system you're currently on. It will take you to one of these three pages. Here you can see, installing on Windows, and it has step-by-step instructions for installing. The graphical installers are really quick, straightforward. You just select the default, hit next, and follow along with the step-by-step instructions. If you're on a Mac OS, it's basically the same thing. If you click on that link on how to install, it will guide you through the graphical installation process for Mac OS. Again, step-by-step process, pretty straightforward. Just hit continue on all the screens. If you're on Linux, it's going to be slightly different. All you need to do is you'll be downloading a .sh file, and then at your command line or terminal, you'll be running this following command. Bash. And then right here. ~downloads. Anaconda 3 and then whatever version you happen to be clicking on. Basically just copy and paste this command into your terminal. A quick note for Windows users, and this is a pretty important one. You'll eventually have a screen that looks like this saying, Advanced Installation Options, and you can choose whether or not you want to add Anaconda to your path environment variable. Anaconda themselves recommends to not add Anaconda as a path environment variable. This can interfere with other software. Typically, what it's going to interfere with is previous downloads of Python. However, since this is probably your first download of Python, we actually highly recommend that you too add Anaconda to your path environment variable. This will allow you to call conda-specific commands directly on your command line. Again, for Windows users, we do recommend that you add Anaconda to your path environment variable. When you click on it, you'll notice that it says not recommended. It'll highlight in red, go ahead and click on it anyways. And then hits install. Now, as we previously mentioned, these graphical installation files include Anaconda, Python and many other libraries in this distribution. So you'll notice that it's actually quite a large file. It's about half a gigabyte, depending on your internet connection or the space available on your computer. You may not want to actually download and install all these libraries. Instead, you probably just want the basics of Python for that use case. You can look for www.conda.io/miniconda.html or just Google search for Miniconda, and it will take you to the Miniconda links for the installers. And it's basically the exact same thing, except it's a much smaller file. And it doesn't include a variety of the libraries, which you don't really need to worry about. So, there's one for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. If you're interested in a much smaller file download, you can use those installers as well. However, we do recommend that, if you have the bandwidth and the space, that you just download the full Anaconda installation. Once you've successfully downloaded and gone through the installation steps for Anaconda, you should be able to search your computer for Anaconda Navigator. This is a desktop app that allows you to quickly launch Jupyter notebooks. So go ahead and confirm your installation by clicking on Anaconda Navigator. It will load up and eventually you'll see something that looks like this with little quick dashboards that allow you to launch different development environments. There's the Jupyter Notebook, our main development environment, their Qt console, Spider, another integrated development environment. There's also other things like GlueWiz and even RStudio. If you decide to later on learn, you can install that as well. It's just a click of a button, but we're going to be using the Anaconda Navigator to quickly launch Jupyter Notebooks. So now that we have Anaconda and Python installed in your computer, you should be able to open up the Anaconda Navigator. Up next, we'll discuss how to actually run Python code, either as a script at the command line or using the Jupyter Notebook. So guys, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for more videos and updates. Thank you.